welcome to my Flagstaff home. Today my topic is squirrels. Yeah, squirrels and the damage they do. Now, okay, so I live in Flagstaff. It is a mountain town in northern Arizona. It's not like the rest of the state. It's not desert, it's not hot. And we're just surrounded by ponderosa pine forest, and we're also surrounded by a lot of wildlife. In my old house, where the neighborhood you weren't allowed to have fences, we had two extremely large elk camp out in our backyard for 3 days. Ruined a couple of our trees. Yeah, they just hung out. The dogs would go out there and bark at them, and they'd sort of look at my dogs like, are you kidding me? So anyway, then people kind of got word that these elk were here, and they were parking their cars and going back through the yards of all of us, you know, who kind of faced where the elk were, and taking pictures, and the elk got sick of it and they left and they went over to live on the golf course. So there's really like about, I don't know, I think there's a herd of about 30, no, more than that, 50 or 60 elk that kind of hang out on the golf course. We also get deer coming through. Yeah, all right, so my house backs up to forest. We do have a fenced yard because I don't want my dogs to get skunked, for one thing, and also I don't want my garden to get eaten to shreds by every animal that wants to come through. But yeah, we get a lot of squirrels, and I think they're called kaibab squirrels. They're fun to watch. They're cute. You know, they run around the fence, and sometimes they come out and bark at us, like, get out of our territory. See, that little guy up there is barking at me and my cat who's sitting down here. He's mad. He wants to come into my yard for some reason, and he's not happy. They're really cute and sweet, and I really liked them. I liked them all the way up until they started destroying my patio cushions. We never had a problem with squirrels tearing things up, and I think it's because when we first moved into this house we had two cats, and they were not roaming cats. They never jumped the fence. They just stayed in the backyard, and I think the squirrels were very aware that there were two cats in the backyard. Well, those cats got old, and 2 summers ago they died, and so then we went a whole year. Well, actually, we got a kitten in the fall, but she wasn't going out, and of course there's lots of snow on the ground and everything, so we weren't letting this little kitty outside. And so then summer came around again, and actually before we started letting her out, the squirrels started tearing up our cushions. They started tearing up the cushions and pulling the stuffing out. Now, the good news was we had already planned to replace the cushions, and so we needed new ones, so we thought, okay, what the heck. And we started putting the cat outside so that and the first time Mary went outside, this one squirrel was so ticked. He was on the roof and on the gutter, and he's smacking his paw on the gutter and just barking at her, and she's looking up at him going, anyway. But they somehow figured out that they could sort of rule the roost around the backyard. So we were hopeful that now that Mary was outside several hours a day, that they would stop attacking our cushions. So we bought a new set of cushions. They had to be custom. Our set is larger than most average cushions. $1,200 we spent on this, and 2 weeks later, they ripped into them. Oh my gosh. So they ripped into one cushion. So we got a replacement cushion for that. I still haven't unwrapped it, the replacement cushion, because we were trying to do some things to prevent them from going at it, and I was not going to put this new cushion out until we fix the problem. So this year, they went at them again, and they not only tore at the one that was already kind of ripped open a little bit, but they tore into a couple of others. I even put a box of stuffing out, like batting, to say, here, have this. And they cleaned it out and took stuffing from the cushion. All right, so enough of my ranting. So I wanted to show you what the cushions look like, and my project for this weekend is going to be to fix those. I bought some stuff to patch it, to like iron on the inside. I'm gonna try to sew what I can, but some of them, one is on a seam, but I don't know how shredded it is and if I'm really gonna be able to sew it, and I may just need to do an iron-on patch. So let me go ahead and show you the mess they made. So here are these nice cushions. We have two that are love seats like this, and then we have two chairs like this. And if you look here, the squirrels have ripped this open and dug out a ton of the stuffing. And here too, and a little bit on this end right here. Over here on this cushion, they got into this one, and over here. And of course, you know, they would never go right along the seams. They just have to chew right into the fabric itself. So this is a box of batting that I had gotten, and I put it out for them in the spring. And they actually, the one day, they ripped open that big hole in the cushion and stole out of that, and they took every last bit of batting that was in here. I put some more out here. I think they probably, they haven't taken any more, and they haven't dug into the cushions anymore. I think they probably got plenty between the box of stuff that they got here and what they took out of the cushions. So they got plenty for making their little nests for their babies. And so they have not been back with a vengeance like they had been. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that now, and I'll show you what they look like, and hopefully, they're not going to be perfect, but I'll show you what they look like when they're done. Okay, so I'm back after working on these cushions. I did the best I could on these things. It wasn't too terribly hard, but that one had such a huge opening. Yeah, we're just gonna have to do the best we can here. I think next year what we're gonna have to do is just hold off on putting the cushions out a little bit longer. The squirrels nest twice. They nest, they have babies in the spring and in the early summer. And so they're looking for stuff to make nests. And so if we can wait a little bit longer, we might be able to avoid that next summer, we'll see. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you what the cushions look like now. This is the one that was ripped open so badly. You can see right here that I was able to sew a lot. There were some places where the squirrels just chewed into the fabric, so I had to use patches there. This one over here turned out okay. I was able to sew most of the corner and use a little patch. I patched up this little hole down here. And the worst one is this one, which was really shredded here and here, and so I just had to patch it because there was no way I was going to be able to sew that. I moved this cushion to another place so it's not quite as noticeable. I had mentioned in an earlier clip that I had bought another cushion that we hadn't put out yet, and thought I would use it for the one that maybe looks the worst after being patched, and this is probably that cushion. But overall, if we look at this cushion here, and if we look at, well, the sun's on it, but if we look at these over here, you know, I think just at a glance, it's not going to look like they've been ripped to shreds. They probably will just look like they're cushions that have gotten some wear over the years, even though we just bought them last summer. But at least I was able to do something to patch these guys up, and hopefully we will not have any more squirrels attack the cushions, at least not this summer. That's that. So I hope they don't get into this and start ripping away even some more on that. I'm guessing because the patches are kind of thick that if they do come back and decide to rip into them, they will rip a nice fresh hole where it's not as hard to get into. It's kind of life of living in the forest. So, all right, you guys, that's it for today. If you're not currently subscribed to my channel, just hit that button right there. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos, which is a couple times a week. I do stuff about the town where I live in Flagstaff, some of the cute little events that go on. I also do a lot of stuff this time of year having to do with gardening, crafts, cooking, all that kind of stuff. So I hope you'll come along with me on my Flagstaff home. Bye-bye.